There's a monolith on the moon. They're a very unusual structure. I'm not sure what it is right now, and I sure think we should identify what is the little potato-shaped object for American.
Well, hey there, hi there, ho there. You're as welcome as can be. Yes, it's the Gun Cranks. Welcome to this episode of the Gun Cranks featuring myself, editor of Guns Magazine. Oh, didn't say my name, did I? I'm Brent Wheat, editor of Guns Magazine. We've got Roy Huntington, special assignments editor, and Tom McHale, the head cheese at American Handgunner Magazine. So, hey guys, how's it going?
I hate head cheese.
Head cheese.
Have you ever tried that stuff?
You know what it means?
Souse?
You know what it means in Britain if you cut the cheese?
No, Roy.
Google it. Yeah.
Wow. Well, and I forgot on my lead, and I was going to say we're now back to normal pride as opposed to the enhanced pride of last month since we're now in July. But anyway, Tom reminded me we almost forgot to talk about our great sponsor. Bum, 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 bum.
Dun, dun, dun.
The Patriot Power solar generator. I thought somebody else was going to jump in with that, but no, it's a Patriot Power solar generator. This thing is the bomb. I just used it Friday when our power went out. It ran the fan in my office the whole time my power was out, and then I just let it run until the thing died hours and hours later. So pretty cool stuff. And Tom, do you remember what the web address for Patriot Patriots is?
Patriots.com, and use the promo code GUNCRANKS because we're looking out for you guys. 10% off first order. Hey, but seriously, on the power out thing, especially in the summertime, is there anything more glorious than a fan? Okay, air conditioning would be better, but just having a fan, right?
Exactly, and that's I was basking in the love, and like I said, it's been hot here, so I really absolutely positively didn't need it, but I thought if the power goes out again in the middle of the day, we're golden. So for patriots.com, use the code GUNCRANKS for cool stuff. So, well, guys, I've got visual aids. You see that? That's a 470 Nitro Express. A lot of people think that is a massive round, right? And it is pretty big, but we're going to talk about something even bigger. Potato guns. And I even brought a Magnum. That's actually a sweet potato gun. Yeah, they've got a higher BC. They're aerodynamic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know which way does it fly though? Is it like a Panzerfaust where the fat end flies first, or does the pointy end go first?
Yeah. Like that. Yeah.
It's a potato.
Like I said,
okay, got it.
It's got a higher BC than just your normal Idaho Spud, which we got that at our meal kit. They're just the cutest little things. So I'd say that's about 1.5 inch caliber. So that'd be pretty cool. Well, anyway, we got to talking about this like a week ago and thought, let's talk about tater guns. Why? Why not? Because we just got through the 4th of July, and I know potatoes were flying all across the United States. And then Roy mentioned that he's got dozens of tater gun stories. So here we are. We're talking about something that you're not going to see at any other gun magazine. We're talking about potato guns. So, hey guys, I wanted to show you this. Our boss, the head honcho, Randy, sent us this picture. If I can add it in here. His double barrel potato gun.
That is a Panzerfaust potato.
That is
for sure.
There's a close up. You believe that?
Oh, and can you see he's got piezoelectric igniters? That's advanced technology.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose our attorney is probably going to get his undergarments in a twist, but it's already out there, kids, and every 8-year-old that wants to know knows how to do it. So, Roy, why don't you walk us through the basics of gunsmithing a potato gun?
Well, first of all, let's do the disclaimer. These are actually illegal in some states, believe it or not. And that usually comes because someone was abusive or did something stupid, but they are actually illegal in some states. I don't know all of them, so check your own state. I live in the free country of Missouri. So we can have whatever we want here. But my potato gun days go way back, and it happened pre-internet. When a friend of mine said, "Hey, have you ever seen a potato gun?" And I said, "What the heck is that?" And so he took me in the garage and he showed me his potato gun. And for those who are not enlightened, it's essentially you use plastic like sewer pipes and whatnot that you get at Home Depot. And now remember, we're not saying you need to go do this, but this is, just for educational purposes. And for about $25 or so, you can get enough things. It's basically a clean out trap and a screw in cap and a reducer and then a barrel. And then in the old days, before there was piezoelectric igniters, we used to use the spark igniters, like for a Coleman lamp. They would, spin them and it would do sparks. Yeah. And so basically what you do is that you drill a hole in the big end cap of it and then screw your igniter thing in there. And then I learned in the early days, you chamfer the muzzle and make it sharp. So that way you can push a potato down from the muzzle, and you use a little section of like broomstick or something. So you push the potato down till it's almost into the bigger clean out chamber. And we were all sissies, so we used to wrap the hell out of the chamber area with like either duct tape or that rigger's tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just to kind of reinforce it, just in case, And then some people use WD-40. I found I heard that spray engine starting fluid works best because it's ether, which is highly flammable. And so what you do when you're ready to shoot it then is you just unscrew the cap on the end and go about that much engine starting fluid, close the cap on without dallying too long, and then put the butt against the ground and pulling it up in the air and flick your spark igniter, and they go whoosh, bonk. Yeah. And then they shoot a potato like for 300 yards. I mean, it'll shoot them up so high that you can't see it. Of course, that means if you can't see it, it's coming down somewhere and you don't know where that is. Right. So that's in a nutshell, basically what a potato gun is. I'm
counting hold my beer violations, or maybe examples just as you talk there. Like, one, reinforcing a giant firearm chamber with tape. I was trying to, while you were saying that, I was like, I do that on my 1911s. If I'm going to overload them massively, I put some duct tape on there.
That sounds like a magazine article for American.
The other one, as a reloader,
duct tape help your 1911.
I have to take issue with the charge measurement system of about that much.
It's about that.
Something.
Remember, this is not high technology. Yeah, there's virtually there's this much engineering goes in it, and then you have to glue it with a PVC glue. So I'll be honest with you, all the ones that I have been exposed to, I've never had an issue with one. I mean, none of them have ever failed or anything. The only thing I do recommend is that if you built a potato gun 20 years ago, throw it away. Because the plastic will degrade over time, exposed to UV light and stuff like that. Yeah. Because we did have one that cracked a little bit, but I'm not sure how far you want me to go with these, because we were pretty innovative on the police department with potato guns.
See, I wasn't going to go there, but it's been said back in the day on midnight shift in the summer when there's nothing going on at 4 a.m. It's been said that sometimes potatoes will go wafting over the metropolis, coming from the region of a couple of police cars pulled together in the back of a parking lot someplace.
It's true. I love the sound, though. Do you agree? It's kind of this bonk. Yeah, bonk, thunk, kind of a funny sound. And I remember I was assigned to the Mission Bay Harbor Unit for a number of years. And so there was actually a lot of time there which just means that you get in trouble. And you know that as a policeman. And, at the time it sounded like a really good idea. But so we built a few potato guns and we got better and better at it. And so their performance got better and better. And so I'll just tell a couple stories because they're kind of funny. Is that one day my sergeant was out in Quivira Basin on one of the police boats. And so it was probably 250, 300 yards away. Well, we had a trailer there that was our office, and there was a window that opened out onto Quivira Basin. So I had a partner named Roger, and Roger was always a troublemaker. And so he looked at me one day and he said, and he got up and he got the duty potato gun. And now we used to shoot lemons because they were more consistent than potatoes, and they left a lemony fresh fragrance after you did it, right? And so we opened up a window, and then you team it, right? One guy loads and holds, the other guy puts it in and closes the lid, then the other guy fires it. And by this time, we were like way deep into piezoelectric igniters and and all that kind of stuff. And you had the trajectory down pretty well. So if you shot him from inside, people outside didn't really hear him very much, And so anyway, we launched one of these out, and it hit pretty close to the boat. He was stopped doing something, looking through binoculars. And so we kind of watched for a minute, and he didn't really do anything. So we fired it again, and then it hit like right next to the boat, right? And then you saw he put his binoculars down. He went over and he looked down at the boat, right? And then he was so smart, he knew exactly. And he looked back at the office. And so we waved to him, and he flipped us off. And he came back and he said, as soon as I saw that, I knew exactly what was happening. And he was right, by golly. So
fortunately, he didn't grab his radio. I'm under bombardment with lemons. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, we all knew better that if something untoward was happening, you don't get on the radio, because it was probably one of the other guys on the unit doing whatever it was. I have a good friend who was a fish and game warden at the time, and he used to swing by our office to visit. He would go out on the boats with us sometimes, do some fish and game enforcement. But he came by one day, and I walked out to his truck, and I happened to look in the back, and he had a dove in the back of his truck that he had confiscated. And so I carried it back in the office, and I said, what are you going to do with this? And he said, just, throw it in the dumpster. I confiscated it, and I said, I looked at Roger, and Roger looked at me, and he was like way ahead of me on this as soon as he saw it. And so we got the potato gun, which happened to be dove caliber, right? And so we opened up the door of the office, and it was just getting to dusk. It was like darkening a little bit here. And so we opened the office door. We loaded the potato gun with the dove. And, we thought, okay, this will be funny. It's going to shoot the dove outside, right? And so little shot of stuff, boom, right? Well, I have to tell you, this dove, it was like this flaming meteor shooting outside of the office. And it went out into the traffic circle out there, this flaming dove like that. But the other thing that we did not think of at all was the fact that it shot this cloud of dove pin feathers all over the office. It was this huge cloud of so there was kind of a pregnant pause, right? So it's already like we're laughing, but then we're not laughing. And I swear to you, this is the funniest thing. We're looking, the doors open, and we see this face go around the door, right? And somebody looks in the door. Well, it was one of the lifeguards, because the lifeguard tower is right next to us. And he looked inside. He said, "Are you guys okay?" And we were friends and stuff. And I said, "Did you see the flaming dove?" And he said, "I wondered what that was." But we had a reputation, and so he just shook his head, and they went on in.
Okay,
true stories.
I want to say that perhaps is the winner. Worst gun crank story ever.
Hold my beer.
Oh no! Can I tell another?
Okay, let's examine this though. First of all, was the dove alive or deceased when you?
No, lest the animal rights activists chase us down. It was a very dead, kind of hard and cold dove.
Okay.
So it made a really good projectile,
but still flammable, apparently.
We never thought about it. It would catch on fire. I so wish we had a video of that. It was just like, and it left like a trail, like Halley's Comet, as it went out there.
Well,
so we decided, though, is that because we were getting 200 to 250 yards out of these things, right? And there was a area from our office, and you could shoot over the channel to another point that was across from it. It was about 600 yards. It was pretty far away, 600 yards. And so one day Roger came back from the lifeguard tower. This was more than a tower. It was their like central office and everything. And he was carrying a oxygen bottle.
Oh no.
So he had borrowed an oxygen bottle, right, from them, because they always had oxygen on tanks on the boats and all that kind of stuff. So he borrowed that up. He brought it over, and as soon as I saw it, I knew what he was thinking, right? And I said, "Are we going to kill ourselves? Is it going to blow up?" And he said, "I don't know. Let's see." And we're not advocating that you do this. Trust me, because I am now older and smarter, and I would never do such a thing nowadays. But we've all made mistakes in our life. So we got our newest potato gun and loaded it with a lemon, and then I gave it a shot of the ether, and then Roger just cracked the end on the oxygen bottle, just a little bit to put it in there too. And I closed it down, and we aimed it. We're outside the office, and I fired it, and it didn't go bonk. It went boom. I mean, it was scary. I mean, we looked down at it, and we like counted our arms and our legs and our eyes, and we wanted to make sure that we didn't kill ourselves. This thing went all the way over, and we saw it hit the riprap rocks across the way. So, of course, at this point, like if normal people would say, "Oh, no, boy, we better not ever do that again." Right? Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. So that went on patrol with us for a few times. And so it was pretty interesting.
I was going to say you had to have boat-to-boat combat, didn't you?
No, because it would hurt because actually we did a test. We went to a junkyard one time with a potato gun. We were friends with this junkyard guy, and we said, "Hey, can we shoot one of the cars with a potato gun?" And he was like, "Yeah,
of course.
I'm all about that." Yeah. And so we found it was a truck. It was an old pickup truck of some kind. And so first we fired and these we used potatoes, which, are heavier. That's the big bore stuff. And so at first we were aiming for the side window, but we hit the door. Well, I'll tell you what, it was just like you hit that door with a 10-pound sledgehammer.
Wow.
I mean, it just, the potato shattered, but it left a fist-sized dent in that door. And we both kind of looked at each other and went, "Uh-oh." This is, but potatoes, maybe a lemon wouldn't be so bad. So we shot the window, and it shot that window out, and it shot the other window out with one shot. And that caused us to sort of rethink, what we were doing.
Wow. Well, Roy,
I know.
Please tell me you chronographed a potato gun.
You know what? That's actually a really good idea. And we didn't because I didn't have a chronograph at the time. They're a little hard to aim. Yeah. I had a friend who had a farm, and we went out there with the oxygen, and he used a settling.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of the same, I guess. But so we did acetylene, and it fired, and he had an oxyacetylene torch. And I said, well, let's put a little oxygen with it, because it was going like 250, 300 yards, right? A little shot of oxygen. Well, what is it? A section fence is 600 yards. I think it is, right? Well, it went all the way. It went past the end of his section fence.
Wow.
And we both were like, "Holy, we better stop before anybody dies."
Now, wasn't the old school propellant hairspray?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Aquanet. Or
yeah.
I don't know if hairspray is flammable anymore. Is it?
Probably not.
Probably
you
not.
could probably drink it and breathe it nowadays,
Oh.
And we tried to push this technology as far as we could. And so one day I was at Home Depot, and I saw some smaller size pipes. Yeah, I saw some smaller size pipes in a smaller chamber area, and I thought, well, I'll make a pistol, like a potato gun pistol. And I was thinking, I don't know if you guys remember when you were a kid. You remember spud guns?
Oh yeah,
you would push. It was like a
piece
little
of potato,
steel gun. You push it into a potato, and then you would shoot the little bit of spud. Yeah. So I'm thinking kind of that's the concept, right? Biggie size a little bit, and so I built one, and it actually looked like it was going to work. It was pretty good. I used a piezoelectric for the igniter as the trigger, and it was pretty cool, right? And so I put a piece of potato down in there, and pow, and it shot it. And I thought, well, this is really cool. I figured you can't really hurt yourself with it because it's pretty small and everything. So I took it down to the office, And so everyone thought it was a lot of fun, and we were shooting it and stuff like that. And then I saw Roger got this gleam in his eye, and it was always, that's a dangerous thing, So I looked at him. I said, "What?" And he opened up his drawer of his desk, and he pulled out a steel ball bearing.
Oh,
and,
no!
And I swear to you. And he said, "Look," and it fit pretty well, right? And he said, "I think this would work." And I said, "Well, I don't know that that's a good idea. We better not do that, right?" He said, "Oh, no, it'll be all right." He said, "I'll do it." I said, "Okay." So he stands up. We were going to shoot it down the hallway. There was nobody in there but us, down the hallway toward where my sergeant's office was. And he had a door, typical inside door, right? And so we figured, we'll shoot this. And we thought, based on what we were seeing with the potatoes, that it was going to like go, bonk and kind of lope down there and bounce off the door, right? So we did it, and it went crack. I don't know if it was because the pressure built up or whatever. And this thing, it sounded like a pistol shot, and it went through both sides of his door and then dented his steel locker on the inside. So we were just like little kids that, just got caught by mom in the kitchen with, and so we didn't know what to do, because it was like, that was the only door like that in our little office and stuff. So we hung a picture on one side and his calendar on the other side to do the whole, but his locker was dented, and it wasn't a dent that like you wouldn't notice. It was like somebody put their fist in it. So we took it and we went over to one of the area stations, and we stole a steel locker from an area station and that matched the one that he was. And of course, then we had to find a dyno. Do you remember dyno tape machines?
Yeah.
We had to find a dyno tape machine to put his name back on. So we left the dented locker, put that back in his office, and then nobody talked about it, right? And we almost got away with it for the longest time. But one day he took his calendar down to make a note or something, and he saw the hole, and we were there. And so, because we saw him come out of his office, and then he looks on the outside of the door and he moves the picture that we have, and there's a hole. And then he turns and looks at us. But I remember, bless his heart, he just said, "I don't want to know."
That's a good sergeant. Just, I don't want to know.
He was the same one we shot. So he was cool.
Wow.
Can I ask a quick clarifying question? How many fingers does Roger have now?
Surprisingly, he still has all his fingers.
Well, I was going to say, this is great. I just looked down, and we have been talking for a while. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Tom, let's in case the kids just joined us, let's talk about what we've learned in the past 22 some minutes. 1, lemons are better than potatoes. They've got a better ballistic coefficient.
Yeah.
2, don't use oxygen unless you're prepared for the consequences. And 3, dead doves are a spectacular form of projectile. So
I can still see that.
Oh, and 4th, never invite Roy to a party.
No, because I'll tell one more real short one. We used to take it out to the desert. We used to camp in the high desert all the time. And so we used to take the potato gun because it was a lot of fun. You shoot potatoes all over the place. Cheap ammunition, right? And so one day we were shooting it, and Susie came out from our camper, our trailer, and she said, "Hey, this salad's really old. I'm just going to throw it away." She had a bowl of salad, right? And I looked at my partner, and he looked at me, and he said, "We'll do that for you.
Give me the salad."
Yeah. So we put a little wad of newspaper down as a plug kind of, and then we filled this thing up with salad, and it was a kind of a wide one. It was like a 4-inch tube one. We were using it to launch lighter weight things. And we stuffed that down in there, and then we fired it up, and I'll tell you what, it shot a cloud of salad that was proud to behold. I mean, it was just like whoosh, this huge,
well, so I gotta say, Roy, my tear ducts are empty. I'm going to be giggling about the flaming pigeon for a couple of days. But
when does
we might have to duplicate that someday when you come to visit.
Like that
when does the next avian comet come around? I don't know where the orbit.
Oh,
I still can see that lifeguard though. It's like that. What is it? Kilroy was here. Picture what he poked his head around the door and his nose there and his eyes were wide. Yep. He was going out for a jog. I mean, actually, we thought about this later. Is that another, 3 seconds, and he would have been in front of the door. I said, here's a say to you. Yesterday, lifeguard killed by flaming dove. It didn't happen though.
Oh, wow. True story, Roy. We had a team meeting today where we all get together on video, and one of our folks mentioned that she didn't want to see the pig video from, I think it was last week or the week before. Oops. She's definitely not going to want to listen to this episode at all. But I just got to thinking, I'm addressing our ace video editor, art director, Joe. If you can come up with some kind of graphic for the flaming dove.
Challenge accepted, Joe.
Yeah, with the little, the little cross hatches for the eyes to signify it's dead. It'll be award winning, and I'm sure he'll leave no stone unturned trying to get that done. So, guys, we need to wrap this thing up as much as this has been honestly, this may be my favorite episode ever, primarily because of the dove story, but we'll see how it goes. But I've got to remind you, don't forget forpatriots.com. Use the code GUNCRANKS. You get 10% off. Don't forget to visit gunsmagazine.com, americanhandgunner.com, and Tom, throw in a quick pitch for our special interest publications.
You know what the hot thing is right now? Surplus. What? Our Surplus special edition. Oh, yeah. Now, I don't remember. I'll have to check. I do not remember if there were any dove-powered Panzerfausts covered in this issue. But we do talk about Panzer Knackers. Yeah. And I will bet more than one of them use doves. Buy the issue and find out.
He just likes to say good, Panzer Knickers.
Knacker, yeah. I'm betting roosters, because, a nice Rhode Island red, that might do it. So
that'd be big boy. Hey, my turn too. Wait a minute. We just finished the best of Les Bear custom book. So it's a real cool book. We basically took the last 20 years and put all of the Les Bear feature stories in it. They're written by all of your usual suspects. And so there's lots of fancy photos. There's, about 20 articles, I think. It's a real fun read. If you're a fan of Les Bear guns, get it. I mean, it's a page turner. If you don't know much about Les Bear guns, get it, and then you will. And it's available on Amazon.com. In the book department, just type this in, the best of Les Bear custom. It'll pop up, and there you go.
Excellent. Well, good save, Roy. I almost forgot, and I kept telling myself, don't forget that. But anyway, we're going to draw the curtain on this potato-centric, dove-flaming episode of the Gun Cranks. So anyway, it's been great talking to you guys, and we will see all of you next episode if we're still allowed to film this. So anyway, we'll see you hopefully next week. Bye-bye.
I'm Gunsmack's editor Brett Week, along with Tom Paquette, editor of American Handgunner, Eric Yellowhouse, editor of AmericanPop.com, and Dad About, Man About Town, Roy Huntington. Stop the line. Stop the line. Stop the line. That's my taxi. That's my taxi. That's my taxi. That's my taxi.